everybody. Who is ready to make some big art? I'm Cindy Howard. We are going to talk about how to do big art, and whether it's diptych, triptych, multi-collection collages. They're all amazing. They're all art, and you can separate your pieces into as many or few as you want. There are so many things that you can do to make this yours, to absolutely be unique. So I'm going to give you products. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to let you know how I create really big art. And a lot of the times I do it for designers. I also do it for homeowners, and you can go commercial or residential. It has so many options. Success is at your fingertips. So, and even if you want to do it for your own home, that's that's perfectly great also. So we're going to do a close-up tour of the work so that you can see some of the elements of the piece, and also so you can see some of the hits and misses of the way that I actually used some of the products. So I love using earthly elements in my work. And with the flow of these products and some of the actual, the glass and the metals and all that, it makes that so easy. Here I feel as though it has sort of a take on a geode, which is, the stone that has been broken up that has crystals inside and everything. And then the feel of water flowing, and just, the metals of the earth and all that. Some of the hits and misses of products I'm going to show you. So you can see here how the glass is just sitting lovely on the panel, and you don't see any of the built up gel. Well, here you'll see I really laid it on thick. You see that? Too thick. So it was beyond my 1/8 to 1/4 inch suggestion. So you can see how that is not nearly as attractive as how that just mystically sits on the panel. As for the movement, make sure you've got your flow that goes across panel to panel. Super important. And in the end, when your work is on the wall, it should cover approximately 1/3 of the empty space. That is going to be the biggest impact on that huge wall with your stunning artwork. So let's dive in. Let's take this time to grow, to become better artists and even bigger artists, because you know what we're going to do? We are going to be the solution for so many people. Here are some other pieces I've done in the past that have really answered the need for homeowners and for designers. I hope you like them, and I can't wait to see what you create. Let's start it on a beautiful day, why don't we? This gorgeous sunny day is where I chose to have my panels outside as I primed the surface. I love using wood panels for the collages and the pours and the beautiful big art, especially that have the broken glass and pieces on it. They can really, the wood helps handle all the weight of the products. So let's start from scratch. We have 3 wood panels, 2 of which are 24 by 80, and the center is 36 by 80. Now, a lot of times I have custom panels made, but this time I just went to the big box store and bought flush doors. That's all they are. But they're beautiful flush doors. I mean, they're nice, smooth wood. Why not use them? This is going to make a beautiful piece, a beautiful big piece of art. So I used the Bullseye 123 primer. And coated all the fronts and the sides with my 9-inch low nap roller, and I used an extension. Now, I didn't have my paint extension with me, so I used a broom handle. Always try to use things that you have handy. You don't need a lot of fancy, special tools. Okay, let's get some paint on these boards. So what we're going to do is first lift all of your panels. Now the reason we're going to lift the panels, two things. One is we don't want them to stick to our tarp. Secondly, we're going to lift them with something that is always consistently the same height. We don't want our liquids to drip, to try to, rolling off the board. We want it to stay nice and level. Next, I chose Snowbound. It's a Sherwin-Williams color, number 7004. I happen to love the pearl finish of Benjamin Moore's Regal style paint. So that's what I had it made in. So I hope that's not confusing, but I'll make sure you have all the notes. So you can use almost any white paint you want. I just happen to like Snowbound. It's a nice, kind of a warm white. So I'm using a low nap 6-inch mini roller, and I am rolling all of the surface consistent and make sure there's no hard loaded edges or anything like that to make a ridge where I'm painting. All of the paint is nice and smooth, and we're going to let it dry beautifully. Our next step is putting size down where we're going to want the gold leafing and the aluminum leafing to be. Now, size is a very interesting product. You can put it down and it gets tacky, and it stays tacky for a very long time. You cannot use just a standard glue to use with gold or aluminum leafing. It doesn't work that way. So make sure you get a good size, a sizing product. Now, I have chosen to start the flow of the leaf to go from the top left down toward the bottom right. It's very important that you keep the design going, flowing at the same angle as you go from board to board. See how it will make it look like your design is just flowing beautifully down through all the different boards to make your collage work. Next, we're using aluminum leaf and gold composite leaf. Now, they will fly away if you have any wind. So make sure
your air conditioning's off or there's no fans going, the doors are closed, because it will absolutely go everywhere and drive you crazy. It's a lot of fun to work with, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful product. So I'm trying to lay it where I have positioned the size, because that's where it is going to stick. Now, the size, depending on which product you use, different brands have different directions. So make sure you read thoroughly. The size I like to use is 1 to size, and it dries within like 45 minutes. Now, when I say dry, I say, that's like, it's tacky. You can touch it and it's tacky. Now, you don't want to touch it too much because that'll take away the efficacy. So we have our aluminum leaf, we have our gold leaf, and it's flowing down your collage. Add as much as you want, or as little as you want. I'm not going for a real hard gilding, so I just like it kind of pushed around here and there. If you were really going for a hard gild, you would use pieces of leaf. You would lay them flat very delicately. Now your gold leaf is composition. It is not 22 karat leaf, or at least not for this it isn't. You can go as far as to do that. It is more expensive to use the true 22 karat leaf. Just make sure they're not flying around. Eventually, when you're done putting all of your leaf on your boards, make sure you have just very gently tack them down to your surface. We want to make sure our boards are clean of the excess leaf and anything else that might be on our boards. So brush them off lightly. Make sure all of your leaf has adhered beautifully to your boards. Now, we want to use glazing gel or some form of gel that is going to help our glass adhere to the surface. So what we're doing is going along the outer edges of our leafing to make sure we don't put a lot of glass directly on top of the leaf. We're trying to frame it and let each element have a part in your art. So the leaf, as beautiful as it is going to be that center point between the glass, and then the glass itself is going to be that gorgeous framing around the leaf. So you can't apply the gel super thin, or it's not going to hold on, or it's not going to let the glass hold on. So you want to keep it raised about 1/8 of an inch or so, a 1/4 inch at most, above your surface. Just go all over all of your pieces, framing all of your design and adding the glass piece by piece as you go. You are going to have a good bit of open time with your gel. It's not like a standard glue. Now we add any kind of glass we want. For this particular piece, I'm using 1/4 inch clear Starfire glass and 1/2 inch clear Starfire glass. But I'm also using 1/4 inch gold backed Starfire glass. It is so beautiful. Okay, I am using it with the glazing gel. This is golden glazing gel on purpose. And when I use it in combination with the composition leaf and the gold backed the Starfire glass, it reacts with a little bit of a patina. You'll be seeing that soon. but it is on purpose. It's an element of your beautiful artwork. So I'm reaching in and getting more glass, and as I apply it, I know that there can be other products that I'm using, and you can play with any product that you think that might work for your particular art piece. So I love using glass glitters and micas and even broken mirror. It really adds to your pieces. So I really suggest that you go out there and find the elements, find the products that you enjoy the most, and try working with those. As I'm dropping my glass, I'm placing my glass, I make sure where there is no gel, I want to make sure that the glass lands onto the gel. So in the open spaces, I'll just rake it on over into the gel areas to make sure it adheres, because otherwise it's going to just drop onto the floor and it's not going to be useful. We're going to make sure all of our products are used to their best ability. Show up, shine, impress. I can't think of a better way to play and profit at the same time. Every piece matters. So really, put them on the gel purposefully. Now you see how the panels are separated, and you can imagine, say, just the top two pieces or the bottom two pieces together. If you ever have a client that says, oh, that might be too large for the room. Well, no, it needs to be as large as the room needs. But if they're concerned about downsizing in the future, these pieces can be separated. And one used in one room, two used in another room. If they move to a new house that they don't have as high a ceiling, anything is possible. Don't let them talk themselves out of enjoying this gorgeous artwork that you're creating for them. With all of the placement of the flow and the glass, the gold and the clear, or whatever color it is that you have chosen to create with. Thicker and thinner. And even if you have a larger piece of glass somewhere, you can put a little bit of the gel on top of your piece of glass and put some of the smaller pieces on top of that. It really adds to the glittery glare of the glass as people move across the room when they're looking at your art. There's no limit to what you can do. Absolutely none. So we're going to add some more glass, and know that some of the pieces, like we've mentioned before, the gel and the gold-backed glass and the gel and the gold composition leaf are going to react a little bit with a patina. When you're using the golden glazing gel with these other pieces, with these other products, it will happen. I love that turquoise patina effect. And if you don't want that, just make sure, like we've mentioned, that you seal your leaf before you apply your gel. Simple as that. And here we are. See, you can see the patina reaction of the leaf and the goldback glass with the glazing gel. There we go. You can see it there also. Now we're shaking off all the excess glass right now. Everything that's loose needs to be off of our boards. So get it good and clean. Just take a soft brush. And if these are a little heavy for you, just get someone to come over and help you as you tilt. You don't want to ruin all that beautiful work that you did. So clean, clean, and don't do this while your gel is wet. Make sure that everything is good and dry before you try to move on to the next step. Now, it is incredibly important that you leave your boards where you have enough room to step between them so you can access everything. We're going to seal the rest of the gold composition and the aluminum leafing with a leaf sealer. And you can get it at almost any hobby store, but I'll be showing you which one I have been using. It is a very thin product. It goes a very, very long way. So you don't really have to purchase a lot. Cover all of your leaf. There you go. All right. Next is going to be color. It's time to start creating our colors. Now, I'm using darker colors for this project so you can see what I'm doing from a distance. Normally, I would not use this much dark product, but they are beautiful in their own respect. What I'm creating are a midnight blue and a Venetian blue. So the midnight blue in the container, it's 10% carbon black golden acrylic flow and 10% Venetian blue Modern Masters metallic paint. And my other container is 25% Venetian blue to the Deco Art clear pour. And I'll have these formulas for you right here. So the dark color is where I'm going to set it right by my glass, right beside my glass, and it's going to frame it beautifully. So the blue, that Venetian blue, is going to just hug right up next to it. All I'm using are condiment containers that I bought from the dollar store. So once again, you don't have to spend a lot of money to actually create these amazing pieces of art. Any combination of color that you want can be done. And even using clear with our white background is a beautiful look. So here we go as we push with our Bondo blade, which is just a plastic paddle is all it is basically. We're pushing it into the edge of the glass and continuing the flow of our design. The blue is hugging right up to that midnight blue that we've created. You have a little bit of open time, but don't wait too long. Everything eventually dries. So you can also use a chip brush or any other kind of a product that you want to help your product move around. And it's so much fun to experiment. So here we go as the flow is going up into the areas where the leaf and the glass are not. Now you can make different shapes. You can make different feels. If you want it to feel like water moving, that's beautiful. If you want it to feel have some geode shapes or veining, that's wonderful. But whatever you do, you're going to need to make it continue from one panel to the next. So we are going to have to push our panels close together and continue our design as it goes across the panels. Keep your color flowing. Add clear whenever you need to. When you let the clear and the tinted pour materials play with each other, it makes a beautiful wispy coloration. Just keep everything going in the direction you want it to, because you are the boss of your art. You need to tell it where to go. So I'm going to let you just watch and see how the colors and the clears work together. You can move it around like any type of an organic image that you want. There are no limits. Continue to play with your products and get to know each other better. Go ahead and let the flow run all the way down the board and go in directions that you could have never thought you would have made this huge, beautiful piece of art, and have fun with it. There's more to be made. This isn't your last one to ever do. It's your first experimental, beautiful, big art. Just make sure when it's time to let your pieces dry that they are not touching each other. They need to be set away from each other, because if you leave them up next to each other, they will dry connected and never pull apart properly. So keep a gap between your pieces as they dry. Keep them up on your raised elements that you put up under your boards. Do not let them dry flat on tarp. That will be another big mistake. Okay? There's so many helpful things. Just listen to all the directions and you will be hugely successful. And I'm so excited for you. I hope we can make art again together soon. As I continue to play with the colors and the pouring material, I want to explain a little bit about the products. The Deco Art clear pouring medium is a one-part material. You might think when you see it that it is the two-part epoxy. It is not. It is a friendlier version. Even though all of these products that I'm using are mostly friendly products, I always use my gloves. Always try to remember to use gloves when working with paints and adhesives and even with the leaf. If it's not for your protection, it might be for the product protection. You don't want to get your finger oils on the leaf. You don't want the countertop pour material to be on your fingers. So think of it as it's helping both ways. Now I'm going to continue playing with the products with that beautiful midnight blue that we created, with our Venetian blue, and with our clear pouring material. And we're going to go across all of our panels. Take a ride with me as I use my imagination. I am so looking forward to seeing what you create.
I'm taking the time to come back and paint the edges of my canvas. Now you can continue the style of the artwork around each of your edges if you want, or you can paint with a solid color. If you're going to paint with a solid color, I really suggest that you take an element that's already in your artwork, or at least in the room that the painting is going in. So I'm using the Venetian blue metallic paint that I know is in the artwork. Stunning color. So as for having the panels actually made for you, you can go to a tradesman that you know, you can find a carpenter, you can actually possibly even find a frame and art store that create things like that for people. But it is important that you get someone that does quality work. Everything shows in the end. As for installation, I also go to professional art installers. It's the only way I know that I can trust this heavy artwork in my clients' homes, that everything is done well, and I'm trusting people that have installed many jobs before. So this isn't something new that, just someone down the street, that one of your friends that hung some art on the wall with you one day. This is a different animal. And I want you to take it seriously and find someone that is insured, and they will take good care of you and good care of your clients. So I hope you go out there and knock it out of the park. I want you to go out there and don't fear a thing. I love fear. I love fear because it shows you're brave. All right. So be that brave artist that's going to go out there and do something new and beautiful and unique. I can't wait to see it.